Okay, we are on to week 4, and there's a lot of information to cover here. Stick with me. You got 2 more weeks to go. I know this is a lot in terms of reading and writing, and you're about to do another assignment this week, and of course you've got a bigger assignment even next week. But if I were to start the week 4 off with a question, the question would be this: what do leaders of change know about actually orchestrating change? So it's one thing to propose a solution, but it's actually another to put that into play and make something organizationally beautiful out of it. I know that might sound cheesy to say, but we have problems all around us, and orchestrating solves can be beautiful things for organizations that we're passionate about, especially the vision and the mission and the purpose of what it is that we're trying to do. Most of us get into vocational forms of nonprofit leadership because there's a sense of altruism, but there's also just a passion that we believe fervently in what said organization is trying to accomplish. And so in terms of our objectives for this week in preparing, understanding, developing, and turning in, I'll tell you the following. Number 1, preparing. You got to read Kotter's book, Leading Change. Take some time to dive into that. Don't just skim it. Read it. Really invest in your professional development, in leadership, in the book. And that'll be the first thing about preparing for this week. And then understanding, I would just ask you to focus deeply and profoundly on the 8-stage process that Kotter talks about. He talks about 8 very specific things in his text, and I'm just going to mention them, fire them off quickly to you. But really, I feel like this is a key component of comprehension and understanding for this week. Okay? Establishing a sense of urgency. Creating a guiding coalition. Developing a vision and a strategy. Communicating the change vision. Empowering employees for broad-based action, generating short-term wins, consolidating gains and producing more change, anchoring new approaches in the culture. So all of these things are really important into Kotter's book, and the key component of this is like, look, if you're going to lead change, here's what likely needs to happen organizationally, and so Kotter takes some really good time to focus on those things. So those are things that I would say are key to understanding for this week. And then in terms of develop. Think about when organizational change is apparent in your organization. Do you actually know how to lead people through it? Do you actually think about, gosh, if I was responsible, and maybe you are. That's the other thing where a lot of this stuff becomes really, really overwhelming, is you could be asked to do this very thing right now. And so hopefully you're approaching this going, okay, if what I read is true, how does what I've read actually apply to the context that I'm in? So that developing our understanding of that, if you've been tasked with organizational change and organizational diagnosis, and you know that a change needs to happen, what are the protocols in place that you really need to develop? And I'd say those protocols can be very clearly established by the 8-stage process that Kotter puts forth in this text. Okay, and this is why this book is important to me. Like, yes, academically, I'm here and I'm providing insight, and I'm providing conversation and dialogue, and I'm your teacher. But I'm also over here in Buffalo trying to see these same things happen as a practitioner. And so that's one of the things that I really love about this process, is that maybe some of your ideas, they can help me in some of the things that I'm working toward. And hopefully some of my ideas will be helping you in that process as well. So lastly, turn in. You've got to turn in a 2,000 to 2,500 page paper. I think 2,500 words is 10 pages roughly. So we're looking 8 to 10 page paper that identifies each of the following within. One is just an introduction. Help me to understand that you've clearly read the text. You're ready to critically engage in a written format. But then I want you to write up your general awareness and understanding of the change problem and its solution. And that would deal with section 1 of the text. Okay, that you've done. Okay, number 2 would be a write-up and a review of the 8-stage process. Take some time, and that would be the largest part of this process is the 8-stage process. That's where I want most of your critical engagement to be taking place in the written format. Show me that you understand it, and show me how it applies, perhaps, in your personal situation, your personal organizational situation. But then lastly, just think about and write up a review of the implications for the 21st century. We're in the early part of the 21st century, but that's a part of this text as well. Kotter's really good, and I think he's got a lot to say, and he says it well. So think about the implications for that as a whole. And then finally, as I mentioned in the first assignment I gave you on an 8 to 10 page paper earlier in the semester, land the plane. This is not something that just is an issue with undergrad students, but graduate students too. Just wrap up your paper. Bring the story to a close and do it well. Make it tight, make it right, and just a nice succinct conclusion. This paper is due by Sunday night at the end of week 4, so just turn it in on time on the academic portal. I'll show it'll be very clearly marked in Blackboard where to do that, but just do it, and you'll be in good shape. So God bless you, gang. I hope you're doing well. Any thoughts, any questions, or any concerns, feel free to email me, rkozey@thechapel.com. God bless you.